Trunks are a little high on both of you, so I'm not going to call them right on the line. Touch them up. Suerte, combate.
Junto Nakatani moving up in weight to challenge himself against Alexandro Santiago. Round one underway of this championship fight. Karan Bhatia on the call, joined by Chris Algieri. Alejandro.
You know, and you see that long body, long torso, very wide stance, which is always interesting to me that Nakatani can get the power that he gets, even though he fights out of that wide stance the way he is.
And there we saw the left hand come in. Nakatani uses the right hand to blind his opponents, and it's that long left hand, sometimes to the head, sometimes to the body. We saw him throw it there.
Into this new weight class. Santiago's not known as a puncher, but he is a physically bigger man. He's been in this weight class for a longer amount of time.
His wife and kid were in danger there. They got out okay, but that wasn't easy to deal with.
No, he was cut over both eyes in that fight. Took some big power from the Dodonaire, who's got legendary power early on, but Nakatani doing a good job using that lead hand to keep Santiago on the outside.
And we see Nakatani there at distance. So many times we see tall, long fighters not taking advantage of those assets. Nakatani is doing so.
Oh no, he's a master at range. He likes to stay on the outside, keep you busy with that lead hand, and then as you step over that critical distance line, he likes to fire that big left hand, whether it be a straight left hand or an uppercut, which we just saw there at the close of round number one.
Rudy Hernandez said Nakatani's always been an extremely disciplined fighter, always wanted to be in the gym, and that's why. And just you can see the size difference, Chris. I mean, it's very apparent, and that's going to make for a truly interesting dynamic in this championship fight.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, here we're seeing that all on display.
Nakatani listed at 5'8", Santiago at 5'3". Nakatani, Santiago with the 65.5. So it is going to be a stark difference in this fight. But Chris, as you mentioned, this is Santiago's weight class, right? He's comfortable at this weight, and this is the first time Nakatani is moving up those 3 pounds.
Yeah, you saw that attempted counter uppercut from the outside from Nakatani. I had mentioned last round that he draws a line in the sand, and then as you cross that critical distance line, he'll let that left hand go like that, whether it be an overhand left like that or the uppercut, which you saw a few moments ago.
And not only is it an electric...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see him landing that jab over the top consistently. Boom, and he puts that left hand right behind it. Lightning quick. Oh, and don't forget about those uppercuts. I almost forgot about those. I don't know how, because of the Maloney fight, he couldn't miss with either hand the uppercuts, but that's a very dangerous weapon for him. Being so tall, everyone has to kind of crouch to get in, which opens them up for uppercuts up the middle.
And that's going to be Alejandro Santiago's challenge here tonight, with 20 seconds to go in round 2.
Good short left hand right down the middle, splits the guard of Santiago.
And so far, Chris, it's been Santiago trying to get inside close distance. Big right hand there lands for Santiago, and another one. Just as we were talking about what he was trying to do, he had success getting on the inside and throwing the right hand. And it took him almost all of 2 rounds to finally get inside, but when he did so, he made Nakatani pay.
Interesting little interaction there between Nakatani. Big shots.
Almost like a rangefinder, sometimes throwing it, sometimes not, but just keeping it out there to bother Santiago.
Well, he uses it as an obstruction, both offensively and defensively, with that lead hand, and he wants to unveil that left power shot. You see him setting it up. That's why his feet are so wide. He puts a lot of weight on that back foot to unleash that left hand.
And sometimes, watching tape on Nakatani, you see him throw the jab and then the left hand, but then other times he'll double up on the jab. That changes the timing, and then a fighter on the other side is not ready for the left hand because it comes a second later than you're expecting it to.
You know what they say, the punch you don't see is the one that hurts the most, and that's what Nakatani wants to do. He wants to hit you with that punch you don't see. But Santiago's super tough. You're going to have to catch him with something that he's not aware of.
Santiago had success when he was able to close distance. And we've been talking about how difficult that is to do, Chris, because you've got to take punishment to do so. But should Santiago try to ride that momentum and do the same thing he did at the end of round 2?
Because if he tries to explode from the outside, it's going to be very easy for Nakatani to take a half step back and be able to counter. Big left hand over the top, catches.
Left hand and the reach of Nakatani, that big left hand over the top. And there it is again. Nakatani now finding a home for the left hand.
And that's the thing, when Nakatani wants to go forward, he can be very explosive. Comes through with that 1-2. Now we got blood over the eye of the champion Santiago, over that right eye, probably from that overhand left. I had mentioned he was cut there, actually over both eyes, in the fight against Nonito Donaire, his last fight 7 months ago.
We saw the cut open up, and that's part of the way that he fights, through with will and determination.
You know, we spoke about that uppercut the last 2 rounds. There was a beautiful one. There was that overhand left. I thought that was the punch that may have caused the cut, but yeah, we saw that in the Donaire fight. You know, he started a little bit slow. Donaire was very successful early, but Santiago roared back in the second half of the fight. That competitive nature. Yeah, they really globbed it over there, and that could be trouble because it can get in your eye. You can fall on the mat and make it more slippery. But really what the cutman's trying to do is he's trying to get that medicine in there so you can cover it with the Vaseline.
Left hand gets through again for Nakatani. And that time it was more in the looping fashion. So that just adds another variable to Nakatani's attack. Sometimes that left hand is straight, sometimes it's looping, and you really never know. And of course the Maloney fight, which we showed highlights of, that was the looping left hand where he knocked out Maloney in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, but we saw there, as soon as he threw that looping shot, he got into dangerously close. So Nakatani has realized, okay, not yet. I can go to the looping punches later, but I got to stay long. I got to stay straight for now. Good right hand from Santiago over the top as Nakatani throws the left uppercut from too far away.
And it seemed like Santiago had success with that right hand because it was a lead right hand, right? Usually, sometimes you set up the power shot with the jab, but that time it was a lead, so it caught Nakatani by surprise.
Yeah, Santiago is starting to realize that he has to punch with Nakatani because of his control of the range. So as Nakatani steps in to try and hit him, he's got to throw with him. The problem with that is he opens himself up for those shots coming back his way, but really that's his only shot at this point. He needs to punch with Nakatani.
45 seconds to go in round 4. Junto Nakatani working the jab, working at distance. Alexandro Santiago, the champion, trying to close distance and find openings on the difficult Junto Nakatani.
Yeah, it's smart. I mean, you got a smaller guy. You know, you're keeping the distance really well, but you don't want to throw everything coming from the same trajectory, changing height, changing levels. Very, very smart. Because again, you gotta think that Santiago is going to be anticipating these punches. You gotta catch him with something he doesn't see. There we see that good use of range from Nakatani. That round, he was utilizing the 1-2 and then coming back with a power jab. I like that coming from the southpaw position. There we saw the overhand right from Santiago, the lead that you were talking about, Curran, that he threw while Nakatani was throwing the uppercut from too far away. And there's that other shot you just mentioned, changing levels, coming from down a lower position and be out of range. Hit you and don't be hit. That's what boxing is all about.
In this fight, all 3 judges have given every round so far to Junto Nakatani, 40-36. So a huge advantage.
Santiago keeping him on the outside and controlling the distance throughout.
We've seen moments for Santiago. At the end of round 2, he was able to get inside and close some distance and land some power shots. But a lot of this fight has been Junto Nakatani working the jab at distance and following it up with power shots.
Yeah, at this range, you're just not going to beat Nakatani. He is a master at keeping the distance, throwing those long punches. He's got the height and the reach advantage. He can do this all night long.
At least trying other tactics, trying to get inside, trying to change up the momentum of this fight.
Well, I mean, he is the champion. He is defending his title. Nakatani is the challenger. So, you know, it's going to be more than just trying. I mean, nobody wants to leave their belt. Ooh, good shots there from Nakatani as he backs Santiago up. Ooh, good combinations, letting those hands fly.
Sweeping the opening rounds and now putting on a show in round 5. Combinations, quickness, movement. Left hands upstairs, seemingly unanswered.
Santiago was frozen there for a moment. He wasn't sure where the punches were coming from. Nakatani mixing up these combinations very well. Ooh, good body shot. Good left uppercut to the liver side of Santiago as Nakatani stops on a dime and fires that left hand.
Stop! Box! Time!
Boom, that's that body shot that I was talking about. Stops on a dime and then rips a left uppercut right to the liver side. Santiago took that well because that was right on the money. Beautifully timed shot, though. And there's that overhand jab, that 1-2-1 combination, the champion Santiago.
Round 6 underway on our Bantamweight Championship.
Looking to no avail so far here in round.
Oh! Huge left hand by Nakatani drops the champion, Alexandro Santiago, in round 6.
You know, I'd mentioned multiple times he was going to have to hit the champion with a shot that he didn't see or anticipate. Santiago did not see that punch coming. Straight left hand right down the middle. Beautiful shot. Catches him on the point of the chin, put him down.
And here comes Junto Nakatani.
Oh.
Right hand. Down goes Santiago again. This time it was the right hook that caused damage to drop Santiago for the second time.
I think the corner stopped it. Yep, that's it.
That's the end of the fight. Junto Nakatani, the challenger, now champion at Bantamweight with a 6th round